Okay, so we're doing MCQs from moles. The first question is, which organic compound requires the least number of moles of oxygen for the complete combustion of 1 mole of the compound? For butanoic acid, so 3 over here and 4. Here we'll have 9 over 2 because we have 1 oxygen over here. Now, next is C3H8. So the least number of moles are in C3H7OH. So the answer is A. The next question is, which reaction is an addition reaction? Addition reactions occur in alkenes for making ethane and ethene from butane. This is cracking. Making ethene from hydrogen and hydrogen from butane. This is also cracking. The manufacture of margarine from vegetable oil. This is addition of hydrogen. So C will be the right answer. D, the reaction between ethene and oxygen giving carbon dioxide and water. This is combustion. So C is the right answer. Two equations involving ethanol are shown. Which row is correct? The first reaction is ethanol plus oxygen forming carboxylic acid, and the second is glucose fermentation of glucose by use. Molecular formula of carboxylic acid in 1. Because ethanol is being used to make the carboxylic acid, so the carboxylic acid that is found will be ethanoic acid. The formula for ethanoic acid is CH3COOH. So B and D cannot be right. Are wrong answers. In number 2, in the next column, they're saying is a catalyst needed in the reaction. In number 1, a catalyst is not necessary, but in number 2, a catalyst is required, and the catalyst is yeast. So C is the correct answer. Next question is, what is the empirical formula of ethanoic acid? The formula of ethanoic acid is CH3COOH. This can also be written as C2H4O2. So the empirical formula will be CH2O. So A is the correct answer. Next question is, which structure represents propyl methanoate? In esters, the methyl group comes from an alcohol, and this part comes from a carboxylic acid. Therefore, the compound with the carbon-oxygen double bond should have only one carbon atom because it's methanoid, and the other compound should have 3 carbon atoms. So here in option B, the carbon atom with oxygen double bond has only the chain with oxygen double bond has only one carbon atom, while the other chain of alcohol has 3 carbon atoms. So B will be propyl methanoid. This part is called propyl, and this is methanoid. Monomer Z is used to make polychloroethene. What is monomer Z? Now for the monomer, we'll take out 2 carbon atoms from here and change this single bond to double bond. So therefore, the monomer should be like this. So option C is the correct option as it replicates this. Question 40. Terylene, a man-made fiber, is used to make clothing. Which row correctly describes how terylene is manufactured? So terylene is manufactured by condensation polymerization. So A and C are wrong. And terylene is made from a diol and a dicarboxylic acid. So B is the correct option. Alkanes are saturated compounds containing carbon and hydrogen only. Structures 1, 2, 3, and 4 are saturated hydrocarbons. Which pair of structures are isomers? Isomers are molecules with the same molecular formula but different structural formula. So the carbon atoms in both the isomers should be equal. The first chain has 6 carbon atoms, second has 6, fourth has 7, and third has 6. Third is a cyclohexane, so it cannot be the correct option. 1 and 2 will be the isomers of each other. So A is the correct option. When butene reacts with bromine, which compound could be made? Butene is an alkene. So with bromine, butene undergoes an addition reaction. The double bond is broken, and bromine is attached to those 2 carbon atoms which had the double bond. So that's why bromine should be attached on 2 carbon atoms that are next to each other. In A, bromine is attached on the same carbon atom, so A is not the correct option. In C, bromine atoms are attached on 2 carbon atoms, but they are not next to each other, so C is not the correct answer. In D, again, the carbon atoms are not next to each other. In B, they are next to each other, so in B, before bromine was attached, these bonds didn't exist, and there was a double bond over here. So that double bond was broken, and bromine was attached. So B is the correct option. Which statement about propene is correct? It can be formed by cracking butane. It has the formula C3H8. This is wrong because propene is an alkene and the general formula of alkenes is CnH2n. It is a saturated hydrocarbon. No, alkenes are unsaturated. It reacts with hydrogen to form ethane. With hydrogen, alkenes react to form margarine. So this is also wrong. So A is the correct option. Which term describes the structure of terylene? Pterylene is not a protein. Pterylene is not a polyalkene because pterylene is formed by condensation polymerization. Pterylene does not contain any nitrogen atoms, so pterylene cannot be polyamide, so it is polyester. Which process is involved in the formation of ethanol from ethene? Ethanol is converted to ethene by addition of steam. So the correct answer will be A. Which compound is an alcohol? The functional group of an alcohol is OH. So we have to see which molecules have the OH functional group. In A, there is no OH functional group, so A is not the right option. In C, there is a C double OH group, so this is an acid, carboxylic acid. D again does not have an OH side chain, but B has OH side groups, so B is the correct option for alcohol. Which two compounds react together to form CH3CH2 COOCH3? Naming and to name ester, we first name the part that came from alcohol. That is this. This is methyl, and it came from methanol. Then we name the part that came from the carboxylic acid, as there are 3 carbon atoms, so it will be propanoate. So the compound is methyl propanoate. Propanoate came from propanoic acid, so methanol and propanoic acid, D is the correct option. Which compound might be suitable to flavor a soft drink? Now to flavor, for flavor, esters are used. So we have to see which one is an ester over here. B is an alcohol because it has an OH side chain, so B is not the correct option. C is a carboxylic acid as it has a C double OH side chain, while D is an alkene, C5H. It's an alkene, so even D is not the correct option. So A, being an ester, is the correct option. Which structure represents an isomer of butane? Butane has 4 carbon atoms. Over here, A is simple butane, straight chain butane, so A is not the right option. B is again a straight chain butane. In fact, B has 5 carbon atoms, so that's why B is not the right option. D is a cycloalkane, and C is the isomer of butane. That is methyl propane. C is the correct option. Which statement about the organic compounds CH4, C2H4, C2H6, and C3H8 is correct? Which statement? CH4 is methane. C2H4 is ethene. C2H6 is ethane, and C3H8 is propane. Option A says only C2H4 and C2H6 decolorize bromine water. C2H4 does, but C2H6 is an alkane, so A is not the correct option. B, they are all saturated compounds. Ethene is an alkene, so that is not a saturated compound. C, they are all unsaturated compounds. Ethene is unsaturated, being an alkene. Ethene is unsaturated, but all the others, methane, ethane, and propane, are saturated. And indeed, it's saying they are all hydrocarbons, so that is correct. The alkenes are a homologous series. Which statement about alkenes is correct? An alkene molecule contains 4 fewer hydrogen atoms than an alkyl molecule with the same number of carbon atoms. So for this, we'll take an example of propane and propene. Propane is C3H8 and propene is C3H6. So the statement says an alkene molecule contains 4 fewer hydrogen atoms than an alkene molecule with the same number of carbon atoms. There is a difference of only 2. So that's why first statement is wrong. If a food is described as polyunsaturated, it means that it contains polymers. First, we'll see the other two. Propene reacts with steam to form propanol. Addition of steam to propene does form propanol, so that is correct. The general formula for the alkenes is CnH2n plus 2. This general formula is for alkanes, so this is wrong. And part B says if food is described as polyunsaturated, part C is correct because it says that propene reacts with steam to form propanol, and addition of steam to alkenes forms alcohols. Which organic compound is used as a solvent, a renewable fuel, and in the production of vinegar? So for production of vinegar, as we all know, ethanoic acid is used, which is also a solvent. In fact, ethanoic acid is vinegar, and ethanol is used to form ethanoic acid. Ethanol is a solvent and ethanol is a renewable fuel. So B will be the correct option. Once again, ethanol is a solvent, ethanol is used as a fuel, and ethanol is used in the production of vinegar. Vinegar is ethanoic acid. Which structure shows the carboxylic acid with the lowest relative molecular mass? So we'll have to find the masses of all of these compounds. For A, the mass is 12 plus 22 plus 2. 46. $60. So C has the lowest relative molecular mass, so C is the correct option. What is the name of the ester shown? So to name esters, we first name the part that came from the alcohol, and then we name the part that came from the acid. This part came from the alcohol. Here we have 3 carbon atoms, so it will be propyl. So first option is wrong. Now, this part came from the acid. We can say that it came from the acid because 1 carbon atom over here has a double bond with oxygen. So this will be named butanoate because it has 4 carbon atoms and a carbon oxygen double bond. So B is the correct option. The diagram shows the structure of a monomer. Which diagram shows the partial structure of its polymer? Now, first we'll have to convert this monomer into a form that can be polymerized. So we'll write it as carbon-carbon double bond. This part became CH3 and it came over here. Now, when addition occurs, this double bond breaks and it is attached to other compounds. So on one carbon atom, there should be CH3 and F, and on the other, it should be Cl and H. In A, there is no CH3 side chain, so this is wrong. In B, on one carbon atom, there is CH3 and Cl, while we have CH3 and F. So B is wrong. In C, on one carbon atom, there is H and CH3. Again, this one is wrong. In D, we have CH3 and F on one carbon atom as we have in our monomer. So D is the correct option. And the last question, which statement about polymers is correct? Nylon and terylene are produced by addition polymerization. This is wrong because they are produced by condensation polymerization. Nylon and terylene both contain amide linkages. Again, this is wrong because nylon does contain amide linkage, but terylene does not. And C, simple sugars are produced by hydrolyzing proteins. Hydrolyzing proteins would produce amino acids. So again, this is wrong. Starch contains the elements carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. This is the correct option.